your Detroit Lions they're down 23-13. They're going to make some miraculous comeback and win this football game. He's going to knock it in right inside the left upright right here.
By an inch!
Right inside the left upright. Oh, yeah, baby. That's right. We're here. Simstradamus, right, is here. I can't speak so well, but I can predict the future, as always. Week 11, almost in the book. It's 27-6 Chargers. I will predict the Chargers will hang on to win this football game, okay? I'm going to put myself on there right now, okay?
2 weeks in a row.
I will do it. As always, we were presented by Lowe's. Lowe's knows home improvement. My man Ahmed Fareed is here. Week 11. It was like learn something week 11, right? We had some big matchups, big games. It was like we're going to learn something, figure some things out about football today, and I think we did. I don't know if there was a lot of huge answers, but I think we got a few inklings and like 1 or 2 huge answers that I think we'll hit on here in a bit.
We're getting to the point where look at some of the records, and the Bengals are going to be 4-7. You're like, that doesn't make sense. But we're getting to the point of the year where you are what your record says you are, right? A little bit, really. Like 49ers around 500. It's like they got more talent than that, but you've played like a 500
there's a reason
team.
You're a 500 football team, right? I think a little bit of that is going on with our Sunday night football game right now. A lot of people all week, because it was our game, I did interviews and stuff, and people, you really believe in the Chargers? Well, yeah, their offense is playing good. It's getting better. The defense is, well, they haven't played a quarterback, and this is Joe Burrow, and they're gonna figure it out. And it's like, no, the Bengals find a way to it up every week. Like, what are you talking about? And that's really what ended me making my pick of the Chargers. Just to piggyback on what you're saying is going, wait, I know who the Chargers are. I've seen like 9-10 weeks of football. We know what they are. The Bengals, it's all over the place. So I went with what you know. And I think we are getting to that point of the year, Ahmed, you're right, that it's no more like, oh, they're coming along in this area, or they've been banged up and now they're healthy. You are what you are. We do have a few teams that maybe are just getting healthy and can make a run here and there's stuff like that, but I think your point's valid.
But
there,
you're right. The good teams are forming an identity.
Yes.
They're like that. That's how they win. And they'll throw up a clunker from now and again. But
it's
like
the NFL, right?
Yes,
right.
All right, so we as we do every Sunday night.
Every Sunday.
We talk about every game,
yes,
including the Thursday game and the Monday game.
And the Monday
How's your
game.
eye? Can you hear everything
I hear
now?
everything. I don't hear you, but it doesn't matter.
No. I don't hear you
either,
right, but I think that's normally
okay.
A
That's the normal
thing
Sunday thing. All right.
Pete can still talk to us, as he will as the show continues. We got big division wins for some teams. We got flexing their muscle, some of the good teams.
Boom.
My Detroit Lions out there showing they are some of the best teams in the NFL. Staying alive for some teams, hanging on. Season's not over yet. Give me the headlines, a Thursday recap, and a Monday preview as well. But we start with the game of the week. Well, there's no other place we could start. It's Bills. It's the undefeated Chiefs.
Right.
Undefeated no more. Josh Allen and the Bills. Now, I did anticipate you coming in maybe a little pissed, to be quite honest with you. I normally don't speak so strongly use words like that.
Yeah.
Because there were some fourth down decisions today.
There definitely was.
That worked out for the team, and that could not have made you happy.
You're funny. You're funny. Jim Harbaugh kicked a field goal on 3rd and 1 from the goal at the goal line before the half and kicked the field goal. And I was like, that's my kind of guy right there. Way to go.
He also went for it on 4th down, though, right?
He did. He did.
Justin Herbert running. But, I mean, that was the seal the deal.
Well,
right there.
It was. And I understand it in that moment. And I don't disagree with it right there, right? It is the Chiefs. It's time you got to end this football game and try to put them away, because we've seen this story before. If there's one team that you go, well, we just let them hang around, we want to put points on the board, no, they'll come down and put more points on the board. So I'm not pissed about that one, Ahmed. I'm not. And especially when my boy Blue, Josh Allen, makes a run and a play like that. But I think the big thing is some themes I think that we've hit on all year when we talked about both of these football teams. We got concerns about the Chiefs, and again, we still do, because we saw that all happen in front of our eyes once again today. And then the Bills, we're seeing maybe not perfect, but another what do you want to check the box of going, it doesn't have to always be on all of Josh Allen's shoulders here with the team they have right now, with the way James Cook can run on certain drives or make a play with the ball in his hands after a catch. But then the other cast of characters they have now are also capable of doing something, making a play, whatever, in a big moment, to where you're not like, well, Allen's either going to have to scramble and make a great throw, or he's just going to have to stand in the pocket and throw an absolute dime for them to win the football game. And I thought it was a good team effort, and certainly got some concerns about the Chiefs that we'll dive into too.
Weapon-wise for that Bills offense, the best that Josh Allen has had all around around?
Ooh.
What about the Diggs peak years, maybe?
I think this is better all around. Okay, and Diggs was, of course, probably the best weapon when he was in his prime when he first got there with Buffalo. But as you remember, during those times, I was not a big Gabe Davis fan. Right. Dawson Knox was still young, or not a real presence yet. So I was always going, it's Allen and Diggs in those days. Now it's like, this drive was Allen and Shakir. When Amari Cooper will be healthy, to be, there goes Cooper, right? We didn't even have Dalton Kincaid today, but Dawson Knox showed up. And then the biggest thing is, and what you see too, and why I think we saw more plays in the pass game, is because of their O-line is bigger and more physical. I do think the Chiefs probably more than ever worried about the run against the Bills than any previous year. And that's why we saw some space down the field in the pass game. Good win for the Buffalo Bills. It really was. And even though I don't look at their defense and go, and you've heard me say it, it's a good defense. It's not a great defense. I think it's better coached than the talent actually on the field. But here's a matchup with a football team that doesn't have enough firepower to take advantage of some of the weak spots of the Bills' defense and their team altogether. And I think that got shown today too. The Bills match up better with the Chiefs this year than I think ever before. I really am going to say, I know it's a regular season. They always win the regular season matchup. I'm even saying when the playoffs come around, I think they're more playoff ready because of the physicality up front, especially on that O-line than years past.
So here's the graphic that our YouTube and Peacock audience is seeing that this is the problem here for the Bills, right? It's like they have shown in the past they can beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in the regular season. They have not proven they can do it in the playoffs, but you are saying that you think this team is as close to being built. I mean, and they were, a overtime possession away from beating them. I mean, they could have easily, 5 times out of 10, maybe they win that game. So it's not like they haven't been close before.
No, right. And yes, overtime possession, you're exactly right. I mean, they've been close. You're right. There's no doubt about that. But I think with some of those past matchups in past years, right, where I would go, minus last year, the Chiefs were better on offense in all those other years except for last year. But here's the other difference too. The Chiefs defense is not as good as last year. That's what I want people to understand. The Chiefs defense is awesome. Don't get me wrong. It's one of the best in football. There's no denying that. But there's one different element about their team that I think people have really kind of forgotten about. The fact that L'Jarius Sneed is not there and you don't have 2 top-notch shut-down corners, it does change the way they play on that defensive side of the ball a little bit. McDuffie can only stop one guy. And now you see, oh gosh, here's Shakir, here's Cooper, here's Knox, whatever else. And I think that's been a little bit of a problem. Plus, the Chiefs, again, I know they were undefeated, and I know I would have said they were the second-best team in football coming into this week. They find ways to get it done. Well, they didn't find a way to get it done. And there are flaws, and we've talked about that. I mean, they were outplayed in a lot of ways by the Broncos last week. They could have lost to the Buccaneers the week before, right? The Raiders in Las Vegas the week before that wasn't all that easy either, right? So there's been so many games. We've seen this, and it's just going to be interesting coming down the stretch to go, can the Chiefs just continue to get it done? I don't know. We'll see. But like I said, I don't think they're as good as last year. And I will say this too with them. Last year, we had a healthy Pacheco, and I know he'll be back. So right now he's not there. But again, he's not going to come back for a few more weeks. And how good is he going to be right away? The other thing is last year we saw like Rashee Rice starting to flourish. And we started to go, ooh, at least they got something there, right? We saw that. This year, right now, I don't see a guy that I sit here right now and just go, I think it's close. They might be able to get this guy to be the guy that might happen. I know Xavier Worthy had a good first half this past game, but I don't trust it to be consistent go-to guy yet, at least. So I still have questions as far as that's concerned, too, about where they go in that department.
You don't think Hopkins can turn into that guy?
I don't know if I do think he can turn into quite to that guy. I think he can make a big catch in a big moment from time to time, and he can catch the ball in traffic. But the great thing about Rashee Rice, as we saw, is, catch a slant. He can break a tackle and run for 20 or 30 more yards. Catches a little stick route over the middle, turns upfield, gets 8 or 7 yards. Those are things Hopkins can't do. No, he's not as explosive as Rashee Rice, and I'll still be worried about that until proven otherwise with them.
So this is Kansas City's fewest total yards in a game.
Right.
Wow, since 2021. So it's been like 3 years. Matt Harding says to you, do you see the Chiefs' O-line being the biggest obstacle standing in the way of a three-peat?
No, I don't see that. I don't. No, I think that the Chiefs are Their O-line is one of the better it's their left tackle's an issue. Everybody else is pretty damn good. Okay? Their interior three are very good. They have, again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. He's played hard. He's run well. Pete, and I think you will will tell you, like a few weeks ago, I texted you guys on a group text, like, Kareem Hunt's, yeah, he's playing and he's running hard, but there's more there to be had. There's plays when I watch on film and go, man, if that was Pacheco, that would have been 25-yard gain right there. Instead, it was 7 by Kareem Hunt. So they don't have an explosive runner and running back right now either. So there's issues there too. And the Bills have a little bit more size up front on the D-line than years past. And even though they play zone mostly, when it comes to the Chiefs today, there was a number of plays they played man because they went, we can play man against this group. We're not worried about anybody except for maybe Xavier Worthy running over the top of us. So, yeah, those are my concerns. They really are. It was a big win for the Bills. And, of course, we know the game was tight. And I'm certainly not trying to disrespect the Chiefs in any way. I know how good they are. I get it. But I still sit here and just go, gosh, do they have this magic again to just make this happen the rest of the year and go to the playoffs and win it that way? I don't know. We'll see. I know they did it last year, and I didn't think they could do it. But like I'm saying here for probably the 5th time, I have my issues and concerns with their team.
I'm trying to see yards before contact and see where Kareem Hunt is, because we did that thing a couple of weeks ago.
He runs hard.
He runs hard. He rarely loses yards or is stopped for no gain, but it does seem like he has not touched sometimes until he's gotten some of those positive
That's right.
yards.
He's usually, I think that's how you usually look at it. A lot of his positive runs, you just go, there's a hole, he gets to get a full head of steam, and he gets to the second level running full speed, and then he lowers his shoulder and drives a pile for a gain of 8 or 9. But it's no explosive plays on the regular. There's no explosiveness on their offense altogether. The Bills are clearly more explosive that way, and them just having Amari Cooper, even though he's not 100%, it makes a big deal. And we saw that today with there was 2 plays, one-on-one, threw that ball down the field. One, Josh Allen was getting hit, gets hit as he's throwing. I think that set up maybe the Curtis Samuel touchdown right around there, but I think his presence will only get better and better as we go. Like, unlike the Chiefs, I see a guy on the Bills going, he's getting better, and they were missing Josh Allen's favorite target in Dalton Kincaid today. And, Khalil Shakir's getting better. And, no, I just want to say it one more time to see if you were paying attention.
I was like, how many times are you going to do this? Because you've done that in the past.
I have.
So Buffalo Bills 9-2 right now.
Yeah.
Their best start since 1992. So they've been good here recently, but that's still their best since 92. So they're 9-2. Chiefs are 9-1. If you had to put $1 of your own money right now on who's going to get the 1 seed in the AFC, who would you put that dollar on?
Wow. Can I pull up the schedule real quick?
I knew you were going to do that.
Well, the schedule's important a little bit.
100%.
I got to look at that.
You're right.
And the Chiefs don't have a horrible schedule down the stretch here. So it is favorable, especially the next 2 games are the Panthers and the Raiders. Buffalo has a much tougher schedule.
49ers, Rams, Lions.
Well, what I want to say to you here is the Chiefs have the easier schedule going down the stretch. They got an easier schedule than the Buffalo Bills. They got an easier schedule than the Pittsburgh Steelers, okay? And the other team I want to throw in this conversation is the Los Angeles Chargers, who have a pretty easy schedule down the stretch here too, okay? And I think they are up there in the quality of football team. I do. Now, watch as I say that. They'll probably choke and blow this lead to the Cincinnati Bengals tonight. But we'll see where that goes. I think as it all looks right there, though, I would probably go Buffalo if you just have to make me guess of the 2. If we just went Chiefs or Buffalo, who's going to be the number 1 seed? I'm going to ride with Buffalo.
Even with the tougher schedule?
I am. I'm going to ride with it.
Wow.
I am. Again, the 49ers, Rams, Lions the next few weeks. The Rams and 49ers are not
true.
This is not, juggernauts of years past. I think they can beat them. The Lions, of course, we know is the best team in football, but I think the Buffalo can hang in there with them. And then they got the Patriots twice, the Jets once. Yeah, I like the Bills' chances. I do.
And we did see it last year. Chiefs, it was the beginning of the year, though. They kind of struggled and could, play neck and neck with basically anyone. We have seen that also earlier.
Yes,
earlier
exactly
this year.
right.
No undefeated anymore. They're popping champagne down in Southern Florida
as
they
always.
do each
Larry
and every
Zonka.
year. We got some big division wins also this week, and this also many weeks would have been the game of the week.
Yeah.
Steelers taking on the Ravens, and there you see Lamar Jackson on your screen right now. He has a hard time versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. It happened again. Steelers won by 2, 18-16. He is now, I think it is 1-4 all time. He's missed some games because of injury, but 1-4 all time against the Steelers. You see he's got first 10 games of this year, 24 pass touchdowns, just one today, under 50% completion percentage. He has a hard time against Mike Tomlin and the Steelers defense.
They know how to play them. They know how to play Lamar Jackson. That's the biggest thing. I mean, Lamar Jackson is arguably the greatest one-man weapon in the sport, right? The ability, the plays he can make, all of that. They've got experience against that. Let alone, we know they got the personnel up front, one to run him down, whether it be a Herbig or a T.J. Watt or a Preston Smith or a Patrick Queen too, right? Any of them. But they understand, like, again, if you watch that game, it's a little bit like we talked about last week, where I think this helped Pittsburgh. The fact that they got to play Washington and Jaden Daniels last week, a lot of the same rules apply.
It's like the warm-up game.
It was like, okay, we're going to play the A- version of Lamar Jackson first, and then we're going to play the real guy. Watch out. So, yes, but that I think was good practice for rush lane integrity. Watch the game back today. See how many times you see Steelers players actually go around and go by Lamar Jackson. Almost never. They got to kind of him. They tried to close the pocket, and then they sit there and wait for him to break or run or do any of that. So they have a plan in that department. That's the big thing. And then one other thing I'll say where I don't think I gave the Steelers enough credit is I think the Steelers are better at man-to-man than I've given them credit for. And in some big moments, even against a team like the Ravens, who we know got some firepower at receiver, the Steelers said, no, we're going to bring 5. We're not going to let you run around. And we feel like we can cover in those moments, and they did that, and quite impressive. Big win for the Steelers.
We got a couple of posters on X who are super excited. Steelers Outpost says to you, hello, GOATs. Chris, requesting an update on how you actively want to see the Steelers in the playoffs. You still want to see the Steelers in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, Steelers Outpost. I'm all in on the Steelers this year. I'm not rooting for you guys to lose, to not, so I don't have to watch an ugly game in the playoffs.
Yes.
I'm a believer. I am. And again, like we talked about with the offense, they run like even today, it wasn't great, but they pushed the line of scrimmage just enough to where Baltimore had to worry about the running game. And then that sets up just a handful of pass plays down the field for Russell Wilson to make some magic happen in the pass game. But ultimately, it still goes back to the Steelers defense, causing the fumble early on Derrick Henry, getting 3 points off of that, causing the fumble on Isaiah Likely before the end of the first half to get more points there.
Patrick Queen.
Right, Patrick Queen gets the strip, right? Little payback. And then Justin Tuck not being the same kicker that we've grown accustomed to him being.
Yeah.
Okay? That's an issue right now. And the Ravens have showed moments where they can play sloppy during the football season. And it's unfortunate. Their offense is awesome. But in matchups like this where a defense knows how to play them a little bit and can do that, and you just have a little offense, that's where it hurts when you have the worst passing defense in the NFL, as the Baltimore Ravens do, and this is why it's a tough matchup for them.
Worst in the entire NFL.
Worst in the NFL. It's worst passing defense, and I believe it's actually not even really close right now. They are worse than the Jacksonville Jaguars by 6 yards. Okay.
After today?
I don't know after. What did we say? I believe that is true.
Oh
I'm gonna get you the answer there. Though I'm digging through the stats. Hold on, let me put it in the computer.
Yeah.
Okay. After today, no, it is correct. That is still correct. Okay. So how does that changes your thought, huh?
That's
how bad they are. That's how bad they are.
I knew they were bad.
Yes.
I didn't know they were that bad.
Right.
Dun 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 dun. Dun. So your prediction is now in jeopardy.
It is. I mean, as I sit here, Maria just called me the kiss of death on the halftime show.
Yeah.
And it's like it's happening in front of my eyes here. I mean, they went on an ugly drive to make it 27-13, the Bengals.
Yeah.
And then the Chargers went 3 and out. And Joe Burrow on a 4th and 2 just hit T. Higgins for a 42-yard touchdown pass. Which we love to do, we've talked about. 4th and 1, 3rd and 1. Stop with this. We're going to run the ball up the middle with 11 guys at the line of scrimmage. They're giving you got Joe Burrow. He's getting paid $56 million. You got T. Higgins. He's making $20 million. And they're going, hey, we'll give you the go route. You better take it in that moment. So I did love that. And now I'm feeling a little nervous.
All right, so we'll keep you updated on that. Still in the third quarter.
Yes,
Dang,
sir.
This game's going late. All right, back to our Steelers and Ravens. So now the Steelers lead the AFC North by a game and a half. They're in control. They are now in control of one of the tougher divisions in all of football.
Yes, they are. And I don't think anything's going to ever be pretty with the Steelers. Most games are going to look somewhat similar to this right here, right? You still would like maybe one more consistent pass catcher involved in the offense other than George Pickens, but they got enough offense this year, and the defense is legit this year. And that's the big thing. Big win for them. Man, Mike Tomlin, the way he manages games, does everything that way. Awesome. And let's not forget, Russell Wilson did one of the dumbest things of the day today.
Oh, the interception,
in the end zone in that moment. I mean,
thought that big guy, Washington?
Yeah, which I understood the thought. He thought he could just like box him out, but he just threw it way too high to where it's like, no, he's not, Michael Jordan and Washington, like to where he can do both. Like, but all in all, still big time win, and the Steelers are for real.
I am glad though that they took my advice from earlier in the year. Remember this? And so they listened to the pod. Obviously, I said they gotta, even if Justin Fields does not start, I was like, you gotta have some today. You gotta have some packages of play. They not only got him in there, they got him in there at the most crucial time at the end of the game, trying to pick up a first down and ice things, and he did that quite well. Slid too early on the one, but then got
I know. Yes. You see that all the time with the quarterbacks. They think they got the first down. They kind of lose where the marker is, and they start their slide. And you go, well, you started your slide right before the marker, and that's where they're going to spot the ball. But yeah, I would think we see him going forward a few plays here and there and some moments just like that to kind of give them some sort of schematical advantage.
I hope we see more of that. I hope we see more Bears losses because I hate them. The Bears lose to the Packers. I really don't hate them, but I don't like them. They lose by 1 because of a last-second block. And here's another one of my pet peeves, and I talk about this every week, and I'm sorry about that.
I hear you there.
I hate settling for long game-winning field goals. This one was nearly 50 yards. I think it was 46 at the end there.
That's right.
They had a timeout. They could have gotten at least run the ball one more time and get 2 more yards, if nothing else.
Yep.
But they go, no, we're good. 46 yards. Our guy will make it, and then it gets blocked.
Well, it's a crazy game. Bears did a lot of good things. Packers still frustrate, right? We're still at a point where we're sitting here going, Jordan Love makes plays. 13 completions for 261 yards, right? But still throws missed at times that you just go, wow, right? And the turnover thing that we've talked about so often. There they were. It was 7-3. They were marching down the field again, and you're going, damn, they're going to score. They're inside the 10-yard line. He's got a wide open, I believe it was Tucker Kraft, like around the 4 or 5 yard line. And, it's an easy pitch and catch. And he throws it so high that Tucker Kraft, who's a 6'6" human being, can't get a hand on it. It gets intercepted and really changed the dynamic of the game from that point on. And that's what I worry about the Packers. It's just we have yet to really see them play clean, altogether football. That's the big problem. But I think on top of that, the biggest thing of the day was the way Caleb Williams played and the Bears. The Bears played good enough to win the football game. I think that's the bottom line. And they blew it, or however you want to say it, the blocked field goal, 3 phases of the game, whatever. But Caleb Williams played well. I said in Football Night in America, decisive and not greedy. That's what it was. Hey, he's open, throw it. Don't go, oh, he's open, but I want to throw this other big throw down the field. Well, he's got 2 people on him. Now you're screwed, and you're getting sacked for a 13-yard loss, right? So he didn't do that today. You could tell right from the get-go it was, hey, one's open, I'm throwing it. Hey, 1, 2, wait, I'm getting a little pressure, I'm running. I'm not going to dance around and look for places to go here and there and do all that, which we've caused a lot of negative plays. We saw some magic happen, but we've seen more negative because of that. I think that was the big difference in what we saw from him today. And, a shame that they lost the game that way. Carl Brooks, our guy from Bowling Green in the draft a few years ago, got up there, made the big block for them. I still like the Packers. I'm still a believer in the Packers.
I do, too. I was noticing when you guys were talking about them on Football Night in America, kind of the conversation was, are we down? Are the Packers out? Or like have they? I know.
I didn't get to talk about it a little bit. I would have liked to have talked about it.
They're 7-3 right now. They got a lot of great players.
Exactly right. They got a lot of talent. And I think the thing when we've said this, and we got to keep reminding the people of this. They're a young football team.
Yeah.
It's still Jordan Love in his second year as a starting quarterback, right? Like they went to the playoffs last year, and it's like everyone was just like, well, he's awesome. He should just carry the team and be awesome now. No, he's in year 2. He didn't play for 3-4 years. So come on. But at the same time, there's still plays where I want to yell at him and go, come on, man. You got to hit that throw. You can't make that decision in that moment. And it's just been a little something like that in every Packers game. But they do have talent. And I'm waiting for that moment to play clean. And there'd be one of those teams, like you said at the start of the show, like you are who you are.
Yeah.
Like, they're 7-3, but they're one of the few teams I go, ooh, there's a little more potential. I've seen some moments of really high quality play to go. They could be even a higher quality 7-3, right? Or maybe 8-2 or whatever. So they are one of the teams I give a little hope to down the stretch that they will even get better as we go along. It was this time last year where we started to go, the Packers, whoa, Jordan Love looks like he's figured it out.
Yeah.
And then they went to Thanksgiving and torched your Lions, and it has never been the same. But we have yet to see that kind of performance from them.
They have a couple of signs of a really good team, though. So they're 3-0 this year following a loss.
Okay.
So they bounced back very well.
Right.
And now they have 4 straight road wins. First time they've done that since 2021.
That's impressive.
So
that
they're
tells
winning
you
on the
something.
road. Just win on the road, right? No matter how you do it.
Yeah.
Block field goal because the coach was dumb and didn't give his kicker a couple extra yards. Whatever you got to do. But so they've done some things that good teams do here. This is from Nigel Bryant, basically just reiterating what you said. But he said, I love the pod.
Yeah.
You guys are all great. So I want to read the comment. Did Chicago do some great things today, or is this a Green Bay team we should be concerned about their potential? So probably a little bit of both. Right?
I think that's it. Yeah. And again, Chicago, a week like they had, it can energize a football team, right? We fired the OC. We want to rally around, hey, this is our last gasp effort. Hey, it's our rival in the Packers who, Aaron Rodgers told us forever we own you, and they're like, damn, you still own us after today.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was good there. And with the Packers, yes, like the potential's there. Like we talked about, the defense has got incredible talent there, and you see it on certain drives with them. I mean, you go, holy cow, 6 plays, 70 yards, touchdown, 4 plays, 70 yards, touchdown. Like they have moments where you just go, wow, they're dangerous as hell. But we just got to get rid of that slop a little bit, and that's been the biggest issue.
Pete, you said in my ear, talk a little bit about Caleb. We did talk a little bit about Caleb. Is there more that? Yeah. Pete's watching a different show.
That's all right. Well, Pete's trying to hit all the buttons.
He's got
and
to
do everything.
Oh,
so
my God.
He's literally on his own. But, yes, we hit on Caleb and him looking and how he looked today, and that was one of the first things we hit on.
Got it. All right. That's all right. No, Pete,
that's right.
It's all right.
Pete said Pete, and I agree. I concur. Pete.
All right, moving on to another division win. This one's a shocker. This one I am surprised because I thought the 49ers, they got the guys back. Christian McCaffrey unlocks that offense. Going to be tough for a team they've previously beaten and looked great against.
Really.
Dominated.
Yeah.
Seahawks go to Santa Clara.
Yeah.
Late touchdown.
Yeah.
Geno showing off his legs. Win by 3. And I saw when it happened on Football Night in America, you shook your head. They did the update. They come out to you on camera and you're like this.
I shook my head.
You
Yeah.
did.
Well,
I could tell how disappointed you were.
I'm a de facto 49ers fan. I mean, I think you know that. I am. I root for my buddy and Shanahan out there. I think they're better than their 5-5 record as a football team. But, at that point, they are one of those teams, again, back to you are who you are. They find ways to it up or do something wrong every week, right? They just have not found that same intensity that we've seen the last few years from the 49ers. It's just hard. You lose the Super Bowl the way you did. That's why I picked them to lose in the wild card round this year and be a 4 seed or whatever else. It's hard to replicate that after that kind of loss in the Super Bowl and rev yourself up that way. And yes, between injuries a little bit here and there, and then being a little sloppy and careless with the football or special teams issues, whatever, every week we've come on here something with the 49ers, even in winning games, and gone, they did this, they did that, right? Purdy had an interception today where he tried to fit a ball into a tight window. The ball got popped in the air. I think my biggest thing of the day, though, is I didn't expect them to be able to run the ball and more explosive on the offensive side of the ball. I was expecting that.
The longest run today for Christian McCaffrey was 11 yards.
And I'm telling you, we were late in the third quarter or mid-third quarter, and I was going, man, I just can't believe the 49ers haven't been able to run the ball. It's 2 games in a row since he's been back, and I know the Bucs got some big people up there, but they have not been able to recapture the running game of what they had with Jordan Mason a few weeks ago before he got hurt. And then the passing game and things today, it was hard. I mean, Purdy certainly made some good plays, but there was no wow plays. That's not having George Kittle certainly hurts in that department. And then it looked like the Seahawks had a pretty good game plan and manned them up a little bit in some certain situations and gave them some issues. And Purdy, we've seen him in like games like this year, even if lose or win, where he makes 2 or 3 like, whoa, that was a great play by Purdy, right? Last year I would say, I don't know if he did that much. This year, yes, but none of that today. None of that today. And then the biggest thing is the 49ers defense is just not what it's been the last 4 or 5 years. And to let the Seahawks just march down the field in that moment, that's not something we're used to seeing from the 49ers.
So Derek Weatherford wants to know, why can't the Niners close out games? Did Shanahan make a mistake getting rid of Wilkes? Their defense is not the same. Fire the DC. Bring back the DC.
Yeah,
we need a new DC.
I don't think it's that, right? I think it's more about the Jimmies and Joes in this one. Charvarius Ward has not been great when he's been out there or healthy or whatever else. We've talked about Hufanga being injured. There's no Dre Greenlaw. Their $100 million defensive tackle, Javon Hargrave, is not there, right? Eric
Armstead's playing pretty well.
Well, yeah, Eric Armstead's in Jacksonville, so there's another one.
Yeah.
Right, exactly right. Bosa's a little banged up. So, yeah, there's issues throughout there. They're not the same defense, talent-wise. That's the big thing. Yetur Gross-Matos today was his first game back in a few weeks. So, yeah, the personnel's not there, and I think that's the big thing about the 49ers right now. And then I think when you add that into we're used to them being able to run the ball and do stuff like that, and they're just not being able to do that at will right now, that's some of the issues with the 49ers.
I mean, I guess it makes – I didn't realize it was this bad, but it is now the 49ers' third division loss this season after leading with 2 minutes remaining.
That's pretty crazy.
3 losses, all in the division.
Three losses that kind of way. Some of the other losses we've talked about. It's, the missed field goals, punt returns, kick returns, whatever else. It's all been going on.
Yeah. All right. So, and now the NFC West is all jacked up right now. The hefty lefty says, damn, okay, fellas, how about those Seahawks going into San Francisco, taking a home win, clutch drive by Geno, cleaned up the penalties. Can they beat the Cardinals next week and make a run? So this division's all messed.
Yes,
Cardinals are in the lead currently, right? 6-4, and everyone else is 5-5.
Yeah, it's up for grabs. I don't think there's one team I look at to go, oh, they're totally complete or like I love them or anything like that.
Or there's not one team that you're like, they're out of it either.
No, they're not. No, and we had to talk about this a little bit in Football Night in America, just like what team would you go with?
Yeah.
I think I would go with the Rams right now. Rams, the way they're throwing the football, they're healthy. Their offensive line's almost back to totally healthy. We've talked about some of their talent on the front seven. I feel like they're the team that's going to be the most capable of playing at a consistent level. But, man, I do love what I'm seeing from the Cardinals, their toughness, how they're playing that way as well. It's respectable. And the Seahawks, no, they're not out of it, to answer the question. They're explosive on the offensive side of the ball. The big thing is going to be their defense here down the stretch. That's what we got to see. Can they continue to play run defense? They haven't been bad in the past, but they've been getting gashed in the run, and today was a good start, and hopefully they can do that.
All right, we'll talk about the Los Angeles Rams coming up here in a bit. Some big offensive performances, including my Lions. We got much more to talk about. Chris Simms Unbuttoned after the break. Welcome back to Chris Simms Unbuttoned, presented by Lowe's. Lowe's knows home improvement. Got a new prop on the desk.
Wow, look at that.
Thanks to Matt Casey here.
Keep
Detroit
that up there.
Lions.
Better than your energy drinks.
Yeah, the Fisher-Price water bottle. I think about that. That homie that wrote that to us, now I think about it every time I look at this water bottle. I might have to get a new one. Welcome back. We're talking about teams that are flexing their muscle. Or they did on Sunday, and no one did it better than my Detroit Lions, taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars 52-6. Now, Pete puts a bunch of notes and stats in here from our research department into our rundown. I'm going to read every single one for the Lions. No, I'm not going to do that. But it was their biggest margin of victory, 46 points in franchise history. And I was talking to my dad during this game. I was like, this is such a blowout. I've never experienced this in my life as a Lions fan. I'm actually quite bored. It's actually getting boring. They're just everything
I
looks so
enjoyed
easy.
It. With 8 games on, I needed one to cancel out early, and that was good.
Yeah.
I mean, it was amazing. I have a void spot in my notes because there was nothing to write after 3 or 4 drives. I just went, Lions are doing whatever they want. They can't be stopped. It doesn't matter. Goff is on fire. They can run the ball at will. It doesn't matter. And then we knew the Jaguars' offense wasn't going to be able to keep pace with that, and that was a disaster altogether. But the Lions continue to show they're the best team in football. I actually don't know if it's close right now. They're clearly the number 1 team in football. And they're after today or any day, you sit there and go, I don't know, is it the best offense in football? Did they challenge the Ravens and Lamar? They're definitely 1 or 2. And I like their run game better than I like the Ravens. And the way Jared Goff is playing and all that, I know it's not Lamar Jackson, but damn, he does not miss a throw or a play that's there to be had down the field. You just got so many playmakers. You also got guys that can, like, be tough and get you 4 and 5 and 3 yards when you need to, and that's what's amazing about you.
So I think Jared Goff is the weakest part of their offense, and I think he's really good. So that really, I seriously believe that. And you look at this graphic here, last 3 home games, 8 incompletions, 9 touchdown passes. He has more touchdown passes than incomplete passes. In fact, he has more touchdown catches than turnovers in his last 3 home games there at Ford Field. Melcor23 says, damn okay, Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, the dynamic duo. So much going right for the Lions. Easy to forget they have in short order achieved one of the more drastic turnarounds in NFL history with no end in sight.
Yeah, I know. It is. It's as quick as it gets. I mean, we're talking, it's 2 years where we were going, wait, they're like 1 and 6, and now we're like, they're definitely the best team in football. I mean, no question. And it's, as we talk about, it's just they have so many ways to do it. Trick plays, yeah, they could do that. Run it right up the middle and you know it, sure, they can do that. Of course, the throwing is just, it's off the charts. And you see, like, I mean, when Amon-Ra St. Brown, I know Laporta wasn't even healthy today, but when he's out there and then you get Jameson makes a play or two, it just looks like the field is bigger for you guys when you're on the offensive side of the ball. But I'm amazed, as always, by Jahmyr Gibbs. To me, he is the guy that I just look at constantly to go, short pass, screen, one little seam in the run game, watch out, and the whole field positions change, and that's where they're just so scary special.
So we have the dots of the 55-yard reception. I don't know what Next Gen is saying, but I would venture a guess that that's the fastest ball carrier this season.
I know. All I know is that everybody in our room, and I didn't see the play happen as it happened live because I was watching something else, but everybody in our room went, whoa, oh my gosh, holy cow. So and then seeing the replay, I don't think I saw anybody running faster than that. It took everything in me on Football Night in America not to say 3 rockets up his ass on live TV. It took everything in me. I say, like, Matt Casey's back here. He goes, you said it in rehearsal. I did say it in rehearsal.
And then everyone panicked in the control room.
Oh, yeah, they're all everybody laughed, actually. They're like, oh, and then Matt's like, well, don't say that when it starts.
Don't let people know the real you. Yeah.
But yeah, total dominance. Total dominance.
It was insane.
And the Jaguars are beaten down.
So there we go. So we have to talk about that. So it's also the worst loss of Doug Peterson's career as an NFL head coach, no matter where he's been. Worst loss in Jaguars history. They have a bye coming up this week. Florio's talking on Football Night in America that Trent Baalke's got a prior relationship with Bill Belichick, so we're already thinking about the next coach.
Yeah.
Is this
It's inevitable.
Is this? It does seem inevitable.
It doesn't know if it's happening right now or after the year, but it's inevitable.
Seems like if it's going to happen, this would be the time. I mean,
I would say
I don't want to say
soon.
the Jaguars just look so bad.
Yeah.
That you just feel like we're the players playing for their head coach at all in that game.
They've lost their mojo. They've lost their belief. Their quarterback's hurt.
Yes.
They're going with a guy, Mac Jones, where they're like, wait, he's not going to make any plays or carry us on his back. He's not that type of talent. He needs a system and a little help and stuff like that, right? The defense is atrocious. It doesn't matter what it is, running, passing, right? We talked about the only team that's worse pass defense is the Baltimore Ravens, which is hard to believe. So, yes. And here's another thing. Everybody in the viewing room will attest to this today, because I had people in the NFL during the week kind of tell me the Lions are going to put up 50 on the Jaguars because Ben Johnson might be the next head coach, and this is going to be his first little resume to put out there for them to go, hey, what do you think of me? I could come down there and coach your team, right? I got kind of somebody put that on my radar on about Wednesday, and I was like, I was already going to pick them win by like 20-something points, but I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. This is one of those spots. The job's open. There's a little talent on the team. The quarterback's there. I can see somebody.
Is the quarterback there?
You know, it depends. It's going to be a lot about like what people thought of Trevor Lawrence coming out in the draft. Do they think he can fix them? Whatever. We know the talent's there. Yeah. So yeah, I do think the quarterback's there with Trevor. I don't know if that means he's Mahomes or Josh Allen or whatever, but good enough to win and go to the playoffs with. Yes, we've already seen that. We can do that. They suck. They can't do anything. And, you know, some of that fell onto Trevor Lawrence's shoulders too.
You know, in Denver right now?
Yeah.
The quarterback's there.
Yeah.
Right now, the Broncos beat the Falcons 38-6. Denver's 4-0 now versus the NFC South this season. 2-5 versus the rest of the NFL. This was a big win for them, as Pete's getting the graphic up on the bottom of the screen right there. I noticed out of the corner of my eye. So Bo Nix is now. It almost looks like he is more comfortable with the sling side arm slot than he looked
does
good.
A lot. He looks
good.
really good.
He looked good.
I mean, he played great today. I know I this is probably like the third time I've said this in the last 7 games. Today was Bo Nix's best game, right? I think I have said that a few times lately, but like there's no doubt about it. 28 for 33, 307 yards. I mean,
some are Sean Payton specials, it seems like, on the screens.
No doubt about it. They are a good screen team, but the other thing about that, too, is they're a down-the-field throwing team. They're throwing the ball down the field more than Sean Payton did with Drew Brees or anything like that. I mean, when you watch them right now, it's deep crosses, it's deep in cuts, it's seam routes, it's go routes, it's post routes. He's doing all of that. So that's where I'm impressed. And like we talked about in the draft process where people were crapping all over Bo Nix, you can certainly see his arm is plenty powerful to make power throws. And then you couple that with, hey, we're tough up front, we can pass block, we can run the ball a little bit, and then like you just said, a little Sean Payton flair. Here's a Sean Payton special screen or a wide open guy every now and then. No doubt about it. But they're a pain in the ass. And their defense, as we've talked about, is one of the best in football. And for the Falcons, this was a tough matchup for them. This is why I thought the Broncos would win this game. The Falcons are a drive-the-field football team, right? They're a drive which is like, if you watch them, they're usually 10 plays, 70 yards, right? 12 plays, 80 yards, 14 plays, 75 yards. That's what they do. They never really rip off 50-yard gains, touchdown, bomb over the top, touchdown, right? That's not who they are. You're not going to go down on 10-play drives against the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos have issues when it's like the Ravens last week. Oh no, we played an aggressive defense and we're one-on-one with Zay Flowers. Oh no, and Lamar made a great throw and now it's a 50-yard touchdown. Oh no, we're getting crushed that way. But they're too good. If these long drives, to think you're going to sustain them with that talent, those guys covering all that, absolutely not. No way. And Patrick Surtain just continues to be by far the best corner in football. Like, number 1 and number 2 is Patrick Surtain, and then we can start the conversation.
You know, that's funny. You remember we talked about this about a month ago,
right.
And I was talking with Richard Sherman, and he goes, he's by far
it's
the
by
number
far.
one
This
corner.
year, to me, he's made leaps and bounds. Like, when I watch him, there was a few plays today against Drake London and things that I saw, and I just went, he might be the only shutdown corner in the game right now.
Wow.
He's the only island guy where I go, big play, big moment. They're going to put him on the best receiver, and you watch. They won't throw to that receiver. They'll just go the hell with it. No, let's not deal with him.
Should we do that? Should we do the top 5 and the pick 6 shutdown corners, and have Surtain be number 1 and number 2?
Yeah,
and
that'll piss some people
fill
off.
out the bottom 3. I think we should. We do need to do that just for the graphic. I think we do need to do it just for the graphic. So Denver, it's their biggest margin of victory since 2018. So they haven't looked this good offensively and defensively together in a long, long time. Here's a good question from Disco K90.
Right.
Chris, looking at the success of Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix, do you think the new drafting trend will be to draft 4- and 5-year college starters?
Well, hopefully. I mean,
you've always been a proponent of, like, don't
right.
worry about the age.
What are we worried about? We're like, well, we're worried about in 12 years he'll be 37. Like, in 12 years you won't be the GM or the coach. Don't worry. You'll it up before then if you're even thinking like that.
We're worried if that they were good enough to be an NFL quarterback, they would have done it sooner.
Yeah, I get that, but it's not always easy. Sometimes you're a guy like Bo Nix and you go down to a place like Auburn and the offense is like a kindergarten offense and they got no help around them and it doesn't look good. So that's where it's just not fair to evaluate it like that all the time. Same with Jaden Daniels. Oh, he was in Arizona State. Oh my. Well, yeah, okay, yeah, they got issues, and they started to fall apart at his end of his time there. Gets with a team that can show his talent a little bit, and we go, whoa, is he the top quarterback in the draft? I mean, it just goes like that. So that just shows you, like, No, the talent's there. Sometimes we don't get to see the talent because of the support system around him, and that's where you got to decipher through it a little bit. And I think with the new NIL era and the way you can transfer, you're going to see more of this. You're going to see more of these 4- and 5-year guys because they're going to go, wait, I've been playing 2 or 3 years. I'm at some shit school. We're not that good. I'm going to go somewhere else and try to get 2 good years in to improve my draft stock, and we'll see where it goes from there. But I think the main point from our question there is that experience at the position is important. That's important. I mean, again, look at some of the other guys that didn't play a lot, Anthony Richardson, whatever, and he's still going through those bumps and bruises, and we're already going, wait, it's week 11 for Daniel Daniels in week 1, and they've surpassed Anthony Richardson in a lot of drop-back passing quarterback categories, that's for sure. And I think there's something to be said about that.
Just real quick, we did see the other old quarterback, Michael Penix, come in for a little bit.
Yeah,
Kirk
right.
Cousins banged up. The game was already out of hand.
I know,
there.
and I didn't get to see a whole lot of it, but I saw him warming up, and I was like, damn, I want to be able to watch him here. We were getting ready to start the show, and my attention went to the Chiefs, Bills, and 49ers, Seahawks, to where I did not get to see Michael Penix throw a football, so I can't speak to it in an honest manner.
He does exist, which is cool. It's cool to know that he does exist.
Yes, he is a human on Earth.
It is time to give me the headlines presented by Hyundai. This is where we have the newspaper. We got to have the headline. We got the article. We've got it all written. We just don't have a headline. So Chris sweeps it. He's the hero for the newspaper.
Here I am.
Vikings win by 10 over the Titans, 23-13. Your headline is?
You might never have heard this one before. Purple people eaters.
I've heard of that one.
You've heard of that one?
We'll bring it back.
Damn, I thought that was so original.
We'll bring it back, though.
Damn.
It's a callback is what they call that.
Well, the game had some good things. We're going purple people eaters just because of what their defense did on the day.
So 3-game win streak, too. They have allowed 11 points per game.
11 points per game. They
today.
had 5 sacks today.
Yeah.
Got an interception late in the football game to seal the deal. I understand that Levis and company were desperate. They let up a few big plays in the pass game today that I was not expecting. I mean, one being a 98-yard touchdown pass to Westbrook Akine. That was shocking. But still, that defense, it's hard to move the ball on them consistently, right? It's few and far between in what we saw today from the Titans at moments. But I think the most encouraging thing part of the day was we saw an early bad pitch on a toss play to Aaron Jones from Sam Darnold where you just went, man, is this going to be the Vikings turnover fest again and Sam Darnold doing dumb crap again here? He settled in, and they looked like a high-functioning offense for most of the day. Made some big plays in the pass game. Certainly got Addison and Justin Jefferson open in some big moments. Felt like they were really controlling this game throughout. And then that 98-yard touchdown pass kind of changed things up because you're going, wait, it's 16-3. They're pinned back in their own area.
Right.
They're in trouble. They're going to end up punting. Minnesota's going to have good field goal position. This game's going to get out of hand, and Minnesota's going to dominate. And that play, of course, made it very close and brought it down to the wire for the most part.
Well, let's look at that Jordan Addison 47-yard reception and see what they did here. Sam Darnold, by the way, has 8 wins as a starting quarterback for the first time in his career.
Good for Sam.
And the Vikings had 7 wins all of last year, so it's been a good year
Concept
already.
They run a lot right here, and it's a smart one, too, in this, and the fact that it's what would you call an in-cut. He's got number 4 clearing it out. I'm blanking on number 4, Brendan Powell. He's going to clear it out with the go route, and then just right behind that, they're going to bring the in-cut to Jordan Addison. But the double whammy of that, too, is you got Justin Jefferson on the backside running like a little curl route that also keeps the underneath people there and worried about him. And that's what leads to the big hole for Addison to catch it on the run, go, touchdown. They need that to get going. They do. That was a good game for Sam Darnold to get a little confidence and a little mojo back in his game. Clean, no interceptions. Good win for the Vikings.
They're going to be reminiscent of that Vikings team from a couple years ago where they had the great start, won all the close games.
I know.
They're going to get to the playoffs. You're going to be like, how real are they?
I know.
Doesn't it kind of have that feel?
They does have that. I
Better
don't know what to
defense.
expect. Exactly. That's what I'll say. I just feel a little different about that aspect, that they have a little bit better defense than that year. And that's probably about it. But you're right. It's like, I don't know how good they are. It might be a little bit about the matchup they're playing, who they're playing that week. But I do think they're better than that year. They're not pulling. There were some games that year where they pulled literally shamrocks out of their ass to win.
They're better than
games.
that. They're better than that. All right, we got one more game. We got to get the headline for this one. Rams beat the Patriots. It was close.
It was close.
Drake May had a chance at the end there, did throw a pick, but the Rams win by 6, 28-22. Your headline for this game is?
Staff Stafford.
First game with 4 touchdown passes for Matt Stafford and no picks since 2021. So it's been 3 years.
No, it's been. I think the Rams are about to round into shape. We'll see.
Ooh.
Now, we've talked about them. We've broken them down a little bit as far as secondary's not super talented. They got some front seven people on defense that are disruptive and can make some plays. And you saw them around Drake May and company today. But again, you also saw the fact that he can make some plays throwing the ball down the field with a below average supporting cast. And there's still plays there to be had against that Rams defense and secondary when you can extend the play, buy some time, whatever it may be. But with the Rams on the offensive side of the ball, that's where I see the silver lining. The Rams are going to have to win with their offense. That's who they are. That's where their money is. That's where their biggest assets are. And like we talked about, the defense is a work in progress with some young guys up front. But when the O-line, which I believe were almost totally healthy, maybe one guy missing, they whooped the shit out of the Patriots today, physically, as far as the Patriots' defense is concerned. Had some tough runs in the second half of the football game when they needed. Kyron Williams looked really good. And then, as we always say, when these two guys are healthy at receiver and that guy's playing quarterback, they got answers for everything. You're not going to surprise them. All right, you can blitz them. You might catch them once, but you blitz them consistently, they're going to catch you back more times than you're going to catch them. That's for sure. And I think that's what we're continuing to see here. We'll see where it goes. But I'm a believer in this Rams football team that they can play through their offense a little bit, and their defense will just make a play here and there.
Dun, 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 dun.
I mean, they're coming back. It's 27-all, okay? The Bengals just got the ball. Joe Burrow just threw an interception, and they're going to call roughing the passer.
Oof.
Okay? And I don't agree with this call. I don't know.
It's high, a little high.
I mean, well, he's standing. He's allowed to stand and tackle somebody.
Yeah.
But these are the plays that drive me crazy in the NFL. More than anything,
is it
maybe
the weight?
dead weight.
It's the dead weight.
That's probably what it is. But bad play being rewarded there, and I'm sick of seeing that in the NFL. But the Chargers are in big trouble here, and I am starting to think I truly am the kiss of death.
I think Joe was trying to catch his breath after that one too. All right, 9:49 to go, tie game. We'll keep you updated. Anything more on this game? I think we pretty much
hit
covered
it
it
mostly. I mean, again, I think Drake May continues to open up eyes. He's got to clean up the turnovers a little bit and all of that.
Yeah.
He's getting a little bit of a free pass just because he's a younger guy and whatever else.
Yeah.
But there's more wow than ooh out there right now. I think that's the big thing with them, and Patriot fans should feel really good about what Drake May's shown so far.
That was Give Me the Headlines presented by Hyundai. All right, we had the Colts and Jets. That was supposed to be our Sunday night game. It turned out to be a close game. Dolphins and Raiders. Plus we got Saints and Browns. We got more games to talk about, and we'll do that after this short break. It's called a tease. Welcome back to Chris Simms Unbuttoned, presented by Lowe's. Lowe's knows home improvement. Time now for the staying alive section.
I like it.
I think that's how Pete envisioned that being said. So we got Colts and Jets. Dun, 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 dun. Before we get to that, a field goal, 48-yard field goal for the Cincinnati Bengals to take the lead. Wide left.
Yeah, I mean, the Bengals, back to Ahmed's original point, we are who we are. They make all these great plays, and it's like, we've seen this all year. They get to the moment where you go, oh, they're finally going to take control of the football game, and they mess it up. Whether it's an interception by Burrow against the Ravens in the first Ravens matchup or the Chase Brown fumble in the second Ravens matchup, some of the other games we've seen, whatever else, Burrow's made some unbelievable plays here in the third and fourth quarter, but it's 27-all. We'll see where it goes. Bengals defense has been tough in the second half.
Wow, Jim Harbaugh going, I love you, Justin Herbert. All right, we'll keep you up. 7:30 to go in that one. All right, now we go to the Colts and Jets. Colts staying alive in this playoff. They're 5-6 right now, one game below 500, and it was the return of Anthony Richardson. I think that's where we start here. So,
well, stop me if you've heard me say this before. Anthony Richardson outduels Aaron Rodgers.
I don't think we've ever heard that.
No shit. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it happened today.
By what margin? How much better did Anthony Richardson look to you than Aaron Rodgers?
Well, Richardson at least makes plays. I mean, Rodgers was 1 for 4. 1 for 4 with throws over 10 yards against one of the worst defenses in football. Certainly not a special one.
And Anthony Richardson, on the other hand.
Yeah, go ahead. Give it to me.
9 of 12 on attempts of 10 or more yards for a career high 185 yards on those throws.
I mean, the Colts defense has been better as of late, but it's nothing special. And the fact that you're only attempting 4 passes past 10 yards, that in itself is like a disqualifier. I almost want to go home. Don't show up next week. None of you. Damn. We don't want to see you and your 8-yard passes and your 3-yard slant routes and whatever else. The Colts were the better football team. Now, they're just sloppy and they're all over the place. Even though Anthony Richardson makes some plays, he makes some plays for the other team too at times. Yeah. That's the unfortunate thing. And that's the issue. But there are very few really impressive drives that happened in the game by the New York Jets. A lot of their good drives were set up by field position, or Richardson gets strip sack, or Richardson dropped the ball on a handoff and it goes from 1st and 10 to 2nd and 23, or he drops a snap in the shotgun. So all those kind of things happen too that got the Colts behind the 8 ball in some situations through the game in some of their uglier drives. But nonetheless, there they are. The great big bad Jets defense with the lead 27-22 late in the football game, and you're going, damn, it's Anthony Richardson. He's never even pulled out a game like this before. Hits a slant and go to Alec Pierce up the right sideline. Bing, bong, boom, boom, touchdown. 28-27, Colts win. But I will say, Anthony Richardson, I was very happy for him. He still misses throws, and he misses some of the easiest short throws you'll ever see. That's the problem. But when it's 3rd and 12, that's when he's at his best, because now he can throw his fastball. But that's what has to happen is we have to get him back to where if he's got to have more than just the fastball. That's what I'm saying. He misses too many of the touch, the timing throws. Oh, I got to drop my arm and throw it sidearm with a shallow cross, whatever else. And he misses those, and that's the problem. And I don't even know where you want me to go with the Jets. I don't have much good to say.
I don't think we need to go anywhere with it. They're now 1-5 under Jeff Ulbrich.
Right.
I don't think he's getting that job. I think that one's out at this point.
You're on the case here.
Richardson too. I mean, it just lowering the shoulder. Like, I don't know who it was. Who was it? 35 for the Jets. What was the DB?
I know Richardson lowered the shoulder on 2 different players.
I know.
One was Reed, I think number 4.
Yeah.
And then the other one, you said it was 35.
35, I think.
Is that?
Jalen Mills.
It was Jalen Mills.
I give him a lot of credit.
That's
man.
right.
He tried at the goal line there, but that's a different animal. I mean, if they're able to do all of that, he's very difficult. The only way to stop him is to hope that he stops himself.
Yeah. He's got such potential to be such a playmaker, a superstar, all that. It's all the things we've said. And I'm not going to beat a dead horse over it. It's just got to be, he's got to continue to play. He's got to continue to get polished playing within the pocket and doing that. But, disappointing by the Jets. And you see, with Anthony Richardson and what he does, if he can just play clean and not miss too many throws, like they're explosive. The way Shane Steichen coaches them on offense and all of that.
Yeah.
I think today the Jets went, wait, Richardson's back. We got to stop the run. We got to stop him running. And eventually the Colts and Shane Steichen said, we just got to trust him to throw the ball a few times for us, and he made some big throws and some big moments.
You can see them at the wide receiver position. They have weapons. Downs and Pierce and Pittman and Adonai Mitchell, too. I mean, those are guys that if they get going, it's like, that can be pretty dangerous. The Dolphins have had those weapons at wide receiver for a long time. They're able to use some of their weapons all over the field, Achane as well. They beat the Raiders 34-19, a Raiders team that's not going anywhere this year, but a Dolphins team that a couple weeks ago we were like, I don't know that they're going anywhere either, but maybe they are.
They are. Well, their defense is good. I didn't give them enough credit for how good their defense is. Now, my big thing about them as we go forward is just going, is it realistic they can keep winning this way? This is like 3 yards in a cloud of dust, except they're doing it in the passing game. I mean, it really is. It's pretty amazing. It's literally throw out to the side, screen pass, quick throw here, quick throw there, quick throw there. We're not seeing any like Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle down the field, highlights, running free like their hair's on fire. There's none of that. But they are being surgical and doing that. They're controlling the clock a little bit, and they can run the ball when they need to. So it's like ball control, like throwing offense, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's very rare, but it's been efficient. It's been working so far. I don't know if it's going to work against some of the better teams in football, but right now it is, and I give them credit. They put together a lot of long, ugly drives today. This game in the first half, Ahmed, both teams, I think, had the ball twice. It was like something like that.
Low possession game.
It was a 14-play, 70-yard drive. by the Dolphins. It was a 12-play, 60-yard drive by the Raiders, answered by a 16-play, 52-yard drive.
Wow.
16-play, 52-yard drive by the Dolphins, and then answered by a 16-play drive by the Raiders.
You're right. The Raiders had it twice. The Dolphins had it 3 times.
Well, they got a kneel down, right? A little kneel down at the end of the half.
Dang.
Or maybe, right? It was pretty crazy.
Crazy.
And that's what I mean. And that's really – and the Dolphins don't stray from it. They don't look to really push the ball down the field a whole lot. They're willing to play this way, get the ball out of Tua's hands quickly, see if guys can run after the catch, and then they'll run the ball a little bit here and there. Big play of the game was the Jonnu Smith touchdown. This game was close. The Raiders were doing the same thing in a different way as far as the Dolphins on the offensive side of the ball. Brock Bowers continues to be absolutely awesome. He's arguably one of the best slot receivers in football, and he plays tight end.
Yeah.
He was really good. But the Jonnu Smith 57-yard touchdown pass where they blew the coverage, I don't know what they did. He just ran a seam route. He motioned, and nobody went with him on the motion. No one ever picked him up, and there was nobody in the screen, and that was the game. That was all she wrote. It was 24-19. That made it 31-19, and the Raiders weren't capable of coming back from that.
Joshua Sargent said to you, damn okay, Brock Bowers, shining bright, even with a lackluster quarterback play. How impressive has he been? Very impressive
I don't know how many tight ends. Like, I was trying to think about Brock Bowers today real quickly because I know we'll go on to another game, just of like, what tight ends have I seen that are like this guy before? They're rare because he's got, like, wide receiver twitchiness. He's got slot receiver twitchiness with smaller tight end size, right?
Yeah.
That's rare. And I'm going to bring up a name that's really odd, but it's who he reminds me of, is Aaron Hernandez. All right? I know that I'm just talking about football, okay? All right?
Yeah.
But the talent.
Yeah.
Aaron Hernandez is a talent on the field, a tight end. I
Sure.
had never seen anything like him. And when I saw him in person when I was working for the Patriots, all of that, I was like, holy crap, can he run? Holy crap. I was like, is Aaron Hernandez quicker than Wes Welker and Julian Edelman?
Interesting.
And Brock Bowers has some of those elements, and we see it on a week-to-week basis.
He was 6'1", 245.
Okay.
I wonder what Brock Bowers is.
Brock Bowers, I'm going to say, is like 6'2", 245. It's probably not much different.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's around there. Did you get it? Did you
No,
pull it up yet?
no.
You're so horrible. You do chat
You're
GP.
so good at this.
You
6'4", 230.
6'4",
so he's got 3 inches
Damn,
on him.
I'm shocked he's 6'4", actually.
That makes him even more dynamic.
I guess it
potentially.
does. Damn, he didn't feel like 6'4" when we met him at the Combine and all that.
I was distracted that whole time because you said the Miami Dolphins were like 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but the passing version. And I was like, we got to have a saying for that.
Yes.
And so I was just thinking.
What is it? Right? I've been thinking about it too. Like 3 yards in a cloud? I don't know. There's no dust. It's just clouds.
No, I think we got it.
What?
3 steps in a cloud of dust.
3 steps?
3-step drop. 3-step drop.
Oh,
3 steps in a cloud. Does that work?
It's okay. We might be able to work with that. Okay, I think you could probably do better, but we might.
Okay.
If that's all we can come up with, we could do that. 3 steps in a cloud of dust.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We won't workshop that, but you got me thinking
Yeah.
now.
Okay. You'll figure that out. Type that into your chat GP.
I
later.
actually did that. I did that,
it?
but it didn't give me much help there.
Damn.
But I'm
Quit
sure
that
you said
system.
some great stuff while I was thinking of
Yeah,
all
thank
that, and
you.
I came back to you with something that was B-.
Right.
But that's okay.
Thank you.
Lowe's Home Team Help time. It is time for Lowe's Home Team Help, presented by Lowe's. So what we try to do with this is we try to look at someone who, maybe wasn't the star of the game, but you look under the, what do they call it? Under the
hood.
Under the
hood of a car, yes.
We're getting
you're on
late.
a roll
We're
right
at
now.
11:30. I'm all frazzled here. Saints and Browns, and you know what? You know who I think under the hood? You look at this game?
Yeah.
Taysom Hill.
You think?
So we're doing the
What
opposite.
an engine that is.
We're doing the opposite this time. So his numbers are incredible, right? He had a long run to end it. Yeah, you're right. Pete says maybe no one watched this game, and so it really is under the hood for most people because they didn't even know what happened.
Yeah.
Taysom Hill, first non-running back with 125 rushing yards, 3 rush touchdowns in a single game in NFL history. I'd kind of call him a running back, though. I mean, and this is a guy.
He had a fumble. He had an interception, too. It was crazy because he had moments of the game where you're like, Taysom Hill fumbled going into the end zone one time. They put him in at quarterback one time, and they called a deep post route, and he's like, well, it was open all week in practice. I'm just going to throw it no matter what. And it was like, no, there's 3 guys there, Taysom. Don't just throw it. But other than those 2 plays, he was absolutely everywhere. He is still, as we saw today, an incredible weapon for any offense.
34 years old, too.
34 years old.
34
Holy
years
crap.
old and
I didn't
still
realize
doing
he's
this.
that old. Right, yeah. That is impressive. The shape he's kept himself in. He is so rocked up, explosive. Some of the runs he made today, some of the receptions, breaks tackles, does all of that. He's a little bit of a Swiss Army knife. I mean, he's a guy that, it's rare to say. He's tight end, H-back, can play some running back, do all of that, but it was his day. And I was definitely surprised with the amount of big plays they put on the Cleveland Browns defense.
Yes.
That was kind of surprising.
Yeah,
to me.
so I guess we would start there because I think I was listening to the Picks pod with you and Florio, and you thought that this would be a difficult matchup for the Saints, even with Derek Carr back, just because of what Jim Schwartz could do on the defensive side. I guess they didn't have an answer for Taysom Hill. What else went wrong?
No, well, I think that. I mean, we saw Marcus Valdez-Scantling make another huge play in the football game. Able to run the ball at will. I mean, even Kamara, 16 rushes for 67 yards, not a bad day, right? It's over 4 yards a carry. So there's positives there. But, I don't know. The Browns just refuse to not play anything that's super aggressive on defense. And it's just they don't bend or break or change their approach for anybody. And it just doesn't seem to matter. And it looked like the Saints were like, okay, if you want to put all these people at the line of scrimmage, then we're going to attack right back at you. And if you want to put all these people at the line of scrimmage, we're going to put Taysom Hill at quarterback and get him in the wildcat and get a numbers advantage and then get him on the edge, do stuff like that. And that's kind of seemed to be what it was throughout the day. The Browns kind of matched them with some firepower early on in the football game. Jameis made some big plays. Jerry Jeudy had a big day and Njoku had a big day. But ultimately, it just they couldn't keep pace with what the Saints were doing to that Browns defense.
Well, that's the weird thing when you look at the numbers for Jameis Winston in his revenge game against the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, he had it going.
Throws for 395 yards, a couple touchdowns, no interceptions, and they only score 14 points.
Only scored 14 points. They had some empty drives, too, where they got unlucky. Drove the ball down the field. At one point, got to the 7 or 8 yard line. They missed a 25-yard field goal. They missed another field goal during the game. So there were some drives where, wow, he made some good throws and some big plays, and they came away with nothing to show for it, and that hurt them in the football game. And then, like we just talked about, second half they couldn't do a whole lot, and the Saints offense just kept the ball and made some big plays.
Rizzy's making his run.
Yeah, they got a little energy there.
They
do, and I'm shocked by the Valdez-Scantling and what he's done for 2 weeks in a row, and just, hey, being a big play element, a guy that can, as we always talk about, take the top off the defense in a big moment or make a big play in the big moment. It opens up the field for everybody.
All right, that was Lowe's Home Team Help. We thank our sponsors and our friends. They're friends now over at Lowe's. Dun, 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 dun. So we don't have any more games to talk about except for Thursday and Monday.
Okay.
But we have a game that's finishing up
Still
here.
going on?
In L.A.
It's 4th and 1.
Evan McPherson. 4th and 1.
And they're kicking the field goal.
Zach Taylor's going to
kick. And he just missed a long field goal.
Oh,
he's 2 for 3 on the night.
This is a 51-yard field goal.
This is a 50. Is that what it is? 51?
No,
yeah,
so it's not 4th. What is it? 4th and
2, I guess.
No. It's longer than that. 4th and 8. It is 4th and 8.
Oh, sorry. And
McPherson
he missed again.
goes wide left.
Wide left.
He goes wide left
Which
again.
continues the theme of Ahmed and what he has said. You are what you are. Thank God.
What you are.
And the Bengals are really good, except in the biggest moments, they seem to not be able to pull it through. And they've totally outplayed the Chargers here in the second half. Herbert's missed some throws. Herbert fumbled. They've got issues. But doesn't matter. Second missed long field goal of the half by Money McPherson.
So Pete's saying the same thing in my ear. I was just thinking, so remember when we were praising all these kickers? We were like, man, like a 50-yard field goal is like the 30-yard field goal. When we were, what happened? We cursed them.
I know. You cursed them.
We are also jinxes.
It does seem that way. We definitely had some big misses of field goals today.
Man, this is indoor, and McPherson's been solid in years past. That's crazy. All right, well, we'll keep you updated on there. 1:48 to go.
Yep.
Let's talk about what happened on Thursday, because this was a legit big game. It was in the Buzz Watch. That's how big it was on Wednesday.
Oh, man, it doesn't get any bigger than that. I saw it everywhere.
It puts a little more pressure on teams.
I mean, Thursday morning, every channel I turned on, they were like, Buzz Watch, Ahmed Fareed.
They were like, hey, Jaden, what do you think about being on the Buzz Watch? He's like, seriously, are we really on the Buzz Watch? The Eagles, they got the buzz because they now are, I think, clearly the second best team in the NFC behind my Detroit Lions. They beat the Commanders 26-18. Jaden and company kept it close, tried to make a fight of it, but Eagles too much.
I'm not sure they're not the second best team in the NFL.
Oh,
okay, that's what I would say. Now the Eagles are never, I don't think, capable of playing like a pretty football game. All right, they leave yards on the field. Jalen Hurts will definitely miss open receivers at times, or you go like I watch plays, I watch film. I watched the film in this game on Friday morning, and there's moments in the pocket where I go, no, come on, A.J. Brown's open. You got to throw there. You can't look for more or look to scramble or do that. And that what leads to some of those sluggish moments in the game where we're like, wait, why is it only 10-6 in the fourth quarter, right? And that's what scares me a little bit about them. But at the same time, what you see in the fourth quarter is what I love about them. All right, there's the first thing we have to hit on is their defense is becoming a force. All right, it's a force. They have figured out Vic Fangio's scheme. They know how to play it. I'm watching plays on film and what they're doing. I mean, yeah, they can play man-to-man when they have to, but they're awesome at playing intricate zones and passing people off. That's where they're at their best. And then we saw Jalen Carter and company again. Jalen Carter's phenomenal. Their defense is through the roof, everybody. The D-line is playing top-notch football. The linebackers are damn good, and we've talked about the secondary being damn good too. So I think the Eagles are super talented, and they just wear on you. That's what happens. We saw Washington, the Commanders. I mean, it was hard. It was tough sledding on the offensive side of the ball. Their defense hung in there, but I just feel like with the Eagles, it's only a matter of time. You can't hang in there forever with the Eagles because at some point – that crazy guy at running back or that crazy receiver wearing 11 is going to make a big play, or that crazy quarterback wearing 1 is going to make a big throw or a big run, and that's what we saw in this one.
Well, I mean, that's the crazy thing. And you said it. You predicted that Saquon Barkley would be Offensive Player of the Year, and I think he's probably the favorite at this point.
I think so. I don't think
146 in this one, but then they put Kenneth Gainwell back there. He carries the ball 4 times for 43 yards, and so it's just like they got that.
Exactly. Well, Saquon comes out.
Game.
The Saquon comes out of the game. Right, and what happens is everyone goes, well, they're going to throw the ball, right? Saquon's out, they'll throw it, and they play a pass defense, and then Gainwell gets to rip off some big run. But that's where they're damn good, the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles got everything. We've talked about it at length. Their offense doesn't do a lot. It's not going to be like, oh, wow, this is a great play. Look how creative this is, all of that. None of that. That's not what it is. They are just going to be like, this is what we do. We execute it. We know how to do it no matter what defense you play. And then on top of that, we got playmakers to go along, and our defense is special. And again, we saw Jaden Daniels for the second week in a row not really be able to run anywhere, not doing anything like that, and few and far between with big passes in the pass game.
None.
That's what's starting to scare me, and that's a little bit of the Cliff Kingsbury stuff we've talked about in years past, where – they got to push the ball down the field and make a little bit of effort to game plan some things down the field. It can't always be Jaden Daniels throwing a really nice 5-yard, 8-yard throw all the time, and it looks like it's just a little too much like that in our offense right now.
Not great when your leading receiver and the leader in targets is Austin Eckler with 9 targets, 89
exactly
yards.
Right. You don't want that.
Not ideal.
No.
Dun, 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 dun. So Bengals have the ball back.
Chargers went 3 and out right after it. He threw a throw to Palmer over the middle on 3rd and 10 that was contested. Probably could have caught it, but it was good defense too. Joe Burrow just missed Jamar Chase down the right sideline. He ran right by the corner for a go route. And, I mean, it's really one of the only throws all night I've seen Joe Burrow miss, really. But that was the moment where they could have put this game away. And now we're sitting here, 1:01 left, 3rd and 10. Bengals got the ball, and I'll update you with what happens here in a second.
We've never been in this position before.
I know.
It's
a long game.
One more game to talk about that has yet to kick off.
Right.
Monday Night Football, all state of Texas affair. The Texans at the Cowboys. The Houston Texans are a 7-point favorite. Over-under is 41 points in this one. You picked the Houston Texans to cover 24-13. And you're not even that high on the Houston Texans.
No, I'm not that high on the Houston Texans at all. But I just what's there to be high on about the Dallas Cowboys? That's the big problem. I don't think Dallas is going to be able to do a whole lot on the offensive side of the ball. I do think this Houston defense is still fast and good. And I just think that C.J. Stroud in that offense, yes, struggling, but they got enough against that Dallas defense to make a few plays. And I think it'll be like an ugly, what did I say, 24-14?
24-13.
24-13, yeah. I just think it'll be an ugly kind of 24-13. Again, I don't think the Houston Texans are playing high-quality football either, like you said.
What was I reading? I was reading somewhere, I think it was on The Athletic, where they were talking about, we had like 7 head coaches, open positions, there's changes at head coach. there might be even more than that this year. And I mean, we've already talked about some teams, Jaguars, and who knows, they may be looking for a new coach by the end of next week. And Dallas
we got
Cowboys
2 fires
seem like in that mix.
Yeah.
We've had 2 fires already, interim coaches.
No, it's going to be interesting offseason. You're right about that. There's definitely some jobs I think we can look at to go, there's going to be some conversations. I mean, the Jets, like we talked about, that's going to be open, like you said already. Vegas, that's going to be open. The Jaguars are going to be open.
Wait, Vegas is going to be open?
I think so. When it's all said and done, I do. Yeah, I do. I think they're
no longer leash than this.
I don't think it's going to go that way. I hope I'm wrong, but no, I think Antonio Pierce is going to get a lot of the blame for this, and I don't know if I necessarily think that's correct, but I look at it, and if you made me read the room on that one, I would go, they're going to be looking for one. The Saints are going to be looking for somebody else, I think, other than Rizzi when it's all said and done. The Bears are on the cusp. You said it. The Giants, the next few weeks, are going to dictate what they do. So we'll see where that goes.
Miami Dolphins, maybe?
No, I don't think the Miami Dolphins. I wouldn't do that. I hear that sometimes the Mike McDaniel. I think that's crazy. I do. I don't understand it. Right. It went to the playoffs last year. Right. Went to the playoffs the year before with a backup quarterback late in the year, and they could go in the playoffs this year. They're not out of it yet.
All right. That is every game except for one. Dun, dun, da, 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 da.
Well, the Bengals punted, and Justin Herbert just threw a laser out and up to a nice little lad, McConkey, up the sideline, and now the Chargers are about the 45-yard line, their own 45-yard line, so they need one more good completion here to set up Dicker the kicker from Texas, the best Texas kicker in the game right now, since my man Justin Tuck and the Ravens is struggling a little bit. Dicker the kicker's taking it over.
So what I would do here if I was the head coach, I'd get it to about the 45, just take a knee right there, set up for a 60-yard field goal.
You're funny.
So we'll see what they do here. They just threw up a stat there, 10 straight losses for the Chargers and something, but man, they don't win games like this in a long time. All right, so here we go. We got nothing else to do. So we're at the 44-yard line. Justin Herbert back to pass, looking over the middle of the field. Throws it out right through the hands of
Will Dissly.
Will Dissly.
Yep, turn your hands around. The one thing that's jumped out to me in this half is it looks like the Bengals have pressured Herbert a whole lot more, and they've played more man-to-man. That to me is the biggest difference. In the first half, the Chargers ran the ball a little bit, but Justin Herbert was gashing their zone coverages. And I feel like the second half, the Bengals' answer was, let's not let him sit back there all day. Let's pressure him, and let's see if some of our corners can cover some of these receivers and make some things difficult. And Herbert's missed a few throws, and they've dropped a few throws. It's a big moment of
wide open,
nice
a little
lad. McConkey, corner route. They're on the 29-yard line.
They are in field goal range.
That should be good enough for Dicker the kicker. That should be good enough for my Football Night in America win. That should be good enough for Maria Taylor not to call me a jinx the next time.
All right, what happened here on this play?
So I might have now Pete's saying I jinxed myself. Oh, so they had a little motion outside in Lad McConkey, right? So he comes inside of Palmer, and Palmer runs the out route, and then he kind of follows him and runs the corner route over the top of him. Very tough there in a man-to-man instance like that for the guy to be able to cover the guy in motion who gets stacked behind the other guy, now can run to the post or the out route. You're in a tough spot there if you're a defender. Should we just do another pod in the morning just to give the update for the game?
What do we do? Do we just do a version of here, hey, assume the Chargers win right now? I guess we could do one of those.
No, let's just hang in there and do this.
There's a timeout.
This is the last time out of the game. We got to figure this. Do we have a read to do or anything?
We
got done with all our reads?
To do. We got nowhere else.
Nowhere to go.
Nowhere else to be.
Were you surprised that I said the Eagles might be the second best team at football?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
I don't know if I even totally believe that. I'm just like I'm like truly trying to talk it out a little bit with myself.
So best team in the AFC, who would you put number one there?
I'm going to put Buffalo right now.
Okay.
I'm going to give them their due. And again, we know, like, the Chiefs, yes, get it done team. We got that.
Look at this. It's a run up the middle. Oh, he might go all the way. He's inside the 10. He's going to score a touchdown. J.K. Dobbins
scores a touchdown,
all the way
runs
in with
it up the middle.
18 seconds left.
Wow. Good for J.K. Dobbins.
It was almost like they were letting him, but
you score there.
You definitely score there.
Yeah, just go end the game.
So that was that was a 3-play 84-yard drive?
Yes, it was. It was. He threw the out and up to Lad McConkey. He had the drop pass. It was a 4-play, 84-yard drive.
That wasn't.
They didn't count that last play
Right.
yet. Yes. But either way, I think that one should put it in the books.
Wow.
You want to end this podcast, or do we want to sit here?
No, let's do it. Let's.
I think we did
now.
it. If the Bengals come down and score in the next 18 seconds, we'll get back on the mics and finish the pod that way. All right.
All right. So what does this? All right. So the Bengals now drop to 4-7.
Yes, basically getting to the point where they have to win every game except for one. I mean, like we've talked about, 9-8 might get you in the playoffs in the AFC, right? On that 7 seed. Certainly there.
They got the bye coming up.
Yep.
They got to play the Steelers 2 more times.
Yep.
But they got the Cowboys, Titans, Browns.
Yeah, they got some favorable ones there.
Winnable games, but
Definitely.
they've had winnable games and they've lost 7 now.
Definitely. And the Steelers twice, that's going to be tough. They're going to have to win one of those and then maybe lose once to the Steelers and run the table to even think they have a chance, or just run the table altogether. It stinks. It really does. Because when T. Higgins and Burrow and Jamar Chase are out there on that football field, they are some fun offense to watch, and they're special, and Burrow has played MVP-level football. I know Lamar Jackson's the MVP of football right now. There's no doubt about that. But Burrow's been great, and it sucks that they're going to waste this season away with bad defense and missing field goals and just stupid plays and stupid moments throughout the whole year.
So the Chargers now, tough sledding for them, for sure. And everyone's noted that, but so far so good. Looks like a win against the Bengals. Then you got the Ravens. Then you got the Falcons. Then you got the Chiefs. Then you got the Buccaneers. Then you got the Broncos.
That's a schedule right there. Now the Ravens game is going to be awesome next week at home. That's going to be really fun to watch, and I think it'll be close. Again, I think they match up with the Ravens because their defense is so damn good, and the fact that the Ravens' defense is so bad that I still think Justin Herbert and company will be able to throw the football on them. So we'll see where it goes. But, yeah, they certainly get a little bit of a tougher schedule down the stretch. But I think they're a playoff-caliber football team, the Los Angeles Chargers, and on the cusp of going 7-3 here with 18 seconds left, 1st and 10. Bengals got it, and it's time. We're going to close out this podcast. As much as I like Joe Burrow, all right, subscribe, rate, review. You know where the hell to find us. Send in questions. We got the Wednesday Pick 6 pod, all right? That's coming your way. We're going to try to break down some interesting things throughout the NFL to see where it goes. And before I go,
it's got to be over, right? It's got to
Joe
be
Burrow
over.
threw a big pass down the middle, and he is going to have a chance to maybe throw a Hail Mary or two.
Do we just do it?
But I'm going to still close it out. I'm going to close it out.
It's not going to happen. It's not. It can't happen.
I'll be back if it doesn't. We'll be back.
All right, Pete,
Call
keep the
Hail
music.
Mary.
Keep the music going. All right, keep the pod going.
All right,
we might
fine.
as well.
We'll keep it going.
We can keep the
hell
music
with it.
going. We'll kind of do a little groove here.
Yosivas down the middle makes a great catch. Burrow makes so many good plays, sliding, moving in the pocket.
Ooh.
As you always hear me say in a funny way, right? He's a slippery son of a bitch.
Yep.
And he's the guy I tell my son all the time. I go, watch Joe Burrow, right? You know, my son's never going to be Lamar, and I don't know if he can be Josh Allen or do any of that, right? But there's one thing I go, hey, you know, good athlete, pocket passer, accurate thrower, strong arm, Joe Burrow, that is in the Simms DNA.
Yeah.
That's who you should be watching a little bit. And Burrow just does so many things mechanically right that you want all young quarterbacks to do. Right, Allen and Mahomes, they used to be mechanically right, but they're so gifted and great that they color outside the lines every now and then. Here we go. It's 1st and 10.
43-yard line. Burrow back to pass. This
He's
could be the last
time.
play.
Oh, they're going to take
Could
one
have
more shot to get
play.
closer.
Jamar Chase, that one's
down the
incomplete.
sideline. Yep.
3 seconds left.
3 seconds left. Burrow kind of couldn't throw the ball clean, so the ball came out of his hand a little wobbly. But they were going to try to throw a one-on-one kind of jump ball to Chase to about the 20-yard line and then try to have a one play from the 20-yard line touchdown type attempt. Didn't happen. Now there's 3 seconds left, and we will go it.
We're going to get a timeout from Jim Harbaugh here. You know that's about to happen here. They're going to set it all up. They're going to get out there.
You think we're going to get a little Kodak? They call this Kodak,
This
right?
is Kodak. They're going to take a
Let's see what
Kodak
they
picture.
do.
They got a
They might
Polaroid
be.
boom.
There it is. Way to go.
Yeah.
He was right by the referee.
We're going to get the timeout. Okay, so now they're going to go talk. Harbaugh is calling them all over. He's like, we got to talk about this. Derwin James seems a lot of breath, but they got time to catch their breath here. So here, we've seen this in the past. We've seen this now. I mean, we saw it in Washington.
Yeah, we've seen it before.
Don't talk to the crowd at this point. If you're the Chargers,
Nope.
stay focused on the play.
Harbaugh's not going to let that happen. Don't worry. They'll be
So
ready.
what do? You have one guy deep, right? You have one guy in the back of the end zone.
You should have you should have one guy. They're going to have one guy behind the pile, right,
Okay.
for that ball that gets tipped up in the air.
Chargers. The Chargers or the Bengals will.
The Bengals are going to have one guy back.
Yes.
They're going to go, hey, receivers, congregate around the goal line. We're going to put one guy behind it for the tip pass.
Yep.
The Chargers got to make sure they have one guy back there with that guy at least. The Chargers look like they're going to rush 4, which I'm kind of a fan for. Man, Joe Burrow's checking the play.
Wow, we're going from
So
one.
they got like something. They got something here. Like they 2 different versions.
They got
They
they're
brought a
blitzing.
blitz.
They brought a blitz. He
They
throws
brought a
it up.
5-man pressure.
It's lofted.
Oh
And it's
my gosh!
almost
T.
caught at the
Higgins
goal
had it
line.
in his hands, but Derwin James hit him as he caught it.
Wow.
Incomplete pass right at the goal line. What a fun game. Our rating should be good on Sunday Night Football.
Wow.
Chargers win. Chris Simms predicts it again. Bam. Thank you very much. Just like I thought. Eat it, Maria Taylor, for calling me a jinx and everybody else. All right, everybody.
Yeah.
You know where to find me. Yup, never a doubt. This one was in the bag all the time. Subscribe, rate, review. We will see you Wednesday for the Pick 6 pod. Send in all questions, players, team related. I would love to break it down. Ahmed, you the man as always
man
for
as well.
being here as my buddy. All right, everybody. Be good. Enjoy Monday Night Football. Have a good few D's. D's or days? Peace out, homies. Clap it up.
These. Wow. Now that's a.
Yo, homies. Thanks for watching. Yeah, it's time. The NFL season is here on Chris Simms Unbuttoned.
You can hit subscribe to get all the weekly picks, plus our Sunday recaps as the games are happening.
Oh, you know it. Nobody does that better than us. Thanks again for watching. Remember to subscribe. Peace out. We'll see you next time on Unbuttoned.